I'm Mike Piwowar, most mathematical dude. From Chicago, and I've been skating for about 19, 20 years now. I feel like I've always been a mathematical person. I think that's what, left brain, and so I'm trying to exercise my right brain a lot more, which is like the creative side, but I tend to default to like the mathematical stuff all the time. This is the type of thing that's going on in my head that I feel like can kind of help optimize this whole process. I feel like it's a natural human thing, or a natural skater thing, to like always be striving for that absolute pinnacle of your ability level. Because you want to get the best footy you can, you want to get the best trick you can, you want to get the most stairs you can, you want to get the biggest rail you can, whatever, right? You want to get the most flip-ins, flip-outs you can. And so it's tempting to just like squeeze the last drop out of yourself for the cliff. But I found that like reaching for that absolute pinnacle is not necessarily the most effective way to operate. I actually shared this with someone who's smart, and I was like, oh, check out this thing I created, I'm smart. And they're like, actually, that already exists in education and schooling, and it's called something else. So I didn't invent this, by the way, but I thought I invented it, and I felt smart, I didn't. Anyways, I'm gonna talk about the skate version, I guess. So anyways, what we have here is a circle, right? And let's say this circle represents your ability level as a skater, right? So think about when you first start skating, you're learning how to kickflip, right? Your ability level is not very high. And if you're growing up, like I grew up, for example, watching P-Rod, and I look at this guy and I'm like, dude, his abilities are like, you know, sky high, like this guy's amazing. And so his ability level is a lot higher than like, you know, a beginner, you know, I'm learning how to kickflip. And it's tempting to like reach for the hardest possible thing, because that's how you can get your footy to that level of like the people you look up to, right? You get in the habit of like reaching for that uppermost pinnacle. But I found that reduces the efficiency of my skating. And so if this circle represents my ability level, right? My current ability level, the stuff that I can do real easy, this is the very lower portion of my ability level. I call that like perceived trash. I'm not gonna use that clip, right? And if I get something that's in the uppermost portion of my ability level, I perceive that as a banger, right? But if I were to show that to like Nija, he might perceive that as trash, right? Because he can do that real easy, because his ability level is insane, you know what I mean? And so that's why I'm saying perceived trash and perceived bangers, because it's all perception, right? So if you can increase your ability level, your perception first of all changes. Obviously your tricks and your footy get better. But like, my point is, if I'm doing something that's at the absolute pinnacle of my ability level, is at this level, right here, someone might look at even the best thing I could possibly do and go, trash, because of the ability level difference, you know what I'm saying? There might be someone else that's not as good. Well, they might look at something that I can do kind of regular, they'll be like, oh my God, that's amazing, but it's all where the bubble stands, right? And so if I were to like stretch myself to the absolute thinnest and just squeeze out the hardest thing I can possibly do, it wouldn't make any difference in this scenario, because either way this guy's gonna see it as trash, and either way this guy's gonna see it as good, right? So ask yourself this question: where in your ability level do you strive for? The uppermost pinnacle? Maybe the 10th percentile range, the 20th percentile range? Like, maybe you do it way down here, maybe you don't try very hard at all, I don't know, but like ask yourself, where do you strive for? If I were to strive for, let's say, the 10th percentile range or the 20th percentile range, those are still good tricks, like I got them in the perceived banger section, and to the other guy that's maybe not as good, whether I'm striving here, or here, he's still gonna perceive it as a banger. Even if I'm at my 50% ability level, he still sees that as a banger, right? And if I were to work my ass off and try the hardest thing I can squeeze out of myself at my current ability level, it doesn't matter, because either way, this guy's gonna think it's trash, the green guy. And so, in the grand scheme of things, striving for, like, I'll say the 10 or the 20 percentile range rather than the pinnacle is more effective, is what I've found out. The final thing I'll add to this is the goal is not to squeeze out the hardest possible thing I can do right now, but to focus on moving my ability level upwards. And as the ability level goes upwards, when I get here, the old me is gonna be like, dude, all this shit's sick. And the new me is gonna be like, dude, all my old shit's trash. Hopefully that made some sense. I know I'm crazy, guys. Thanks for listening. Skating will never be black and white, right? There's always gonna be the opinion element and the style element, right? And that's why it's awesome. And so, this isn't like a totally black and white theory. Like, you can't simply say, oh, this guy's better than this guy, or like whatever. It doesn't work that way. There's totally different categories. I mean, you could look at someone like, I don't know, Felipe Gustavo, and compare it to someone like Evan Smith, and they're completely different, but they're both dope in their own way. And it's not that like, oh, one guy's better than the other. And so that's actually why I have these bubbles horizontally a little bit different. So I'm gonna zoom back out again. Let's just use a really easy example like vert and street. Like, you could be doing 1080s on vert and not be able to like triangle on flat, you know? Or on the flip side, you can be super tech and suck at tranny, you know what I mean? And so this is how to optimize within your craft, I guess. Does that make sense?